people of the interwebs, I'm Funkle.
And I'm Bunkle.
And I'm Jacques from Statfirm.
And welcome back to the FunkleBunker. This week we've got a very special episode for you, seeing as it's 2018. We figured we'd take a nice little look back at crappy old 2017 and look at the tiny little gems that came out of it. And we wanted to compile a list of those tiny little gems that we figured out are our top 10 games of 2017. Bam, I said it. Let's do the thing.
Yeah. Read number 10.
Number 10. We always start at the bottom. That's how it works. I actually have a list. It's paper, see? For all you millennials, you won't know what that is because paper's outdated. Anyway, so number 10 is just a game we kind of picked up recently within the last few months.
Yes.
But we ended up having a crap ton of fun right out of the chute with it, and I feel like it's a really replayable game. And that's Stick Fight the Game.
Exactly. We've talked about it here on the podcast before. On our indie games list. It's just you're a stick man and you fight your friends and the guns are bullshit.
It's super fun though.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I feel like it's a very repetitive game, but they do it in a good way. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways it could turn out, and It's just simple fun. It's pure and simple fun. That's all it is. There's no extra stuff thrown into it. There's no gratifying artwork all over the place. There's no fan service. Even I don't know how there could be fan service in a stick game.
I'm sure there are mods for it.
Oh yeah, big titty stick figures.
Oh my!
But yeah, for the most part, that's really why I think it should be in the top 10 of our favorite games of 2017. Is we jumped right into it. We were just like, this game's amazing, and it's still awesome. Agreed. It's a game that I can just go back to anytime I want to and play with my friends.
Exactly.
Agreed. Also, you can get a rocket launcher that fires giant snakes. So
yeah.
Think about that.
You can get a snake minigun.
I mean, you can fight with snakes. You fight with snakes. It's all there needs to be.
Just as soon as we found out the snakes were a thing, we dicked around with that for like so long. We're like,
and the black hole matches, those were fun. You're like, the black hole's over there. The black hole's over there. No! And then you get dragged into a black hole and somebody wins. Yeah. Or nobody wins. I mean, you just open a black hole in the universe, so.
Exactly. It's whoever just lives the longest.
But then we're going to go ahead and go up to number 9, which I feel like is a game that had a whole lot of controversy when it came out and still probably does till this point. But I feel like it deserves number 9 spot because it's just a really fun game. And that's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
I would say that as long as you have like friends to play it with, that definitely enhances the experience.
Yeah, I agree. I don't feel like it's a good solo experience.
I've never played it by myself. I've never had to just want to play it by myself, but I would play it with friends, anytime. It's fun. I
just feel like it really brings out the fact you actually have to coordinate with your friends and figure out ways to do it, but you can also figure out your own ways to do it in more creative ways than just do it this way and you have to do it this way. There's no other way to do it.
Basically, the best way to play the game is to just put it on the hardest difficulty and turn off as many HUD elements as you feel comfortable with, because that's how we played it. Mm-hmm. Back then, there was usually either had the HUD on or off, but now they've added where you can turn certain elements of it off, and that just makes the game feel way more tactical. It's so good.
It's
a
tactical
game.
Tactical.
You'll be like, whoa, I'm going to crawl up here, and I'm going to take out the guards at the towers, and
you're going to snipe the guard as I crawl up behind him.
And I'm going to jump down from a helicopter and barrel into the compound.
And while they're distracted, you're going to steal the intel that we need.
Exactly. It's good shit.
I have not played this game, so I can't make any comments on it. It sounds cool, though.
It's a lot of fun.
Depends. Do you have friends?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Well, then it's not going to be fun for you. Anyway, moving right up on to number 8, that would have to be the one and only Destiny 2.
Now, this is going to turn a lot of heads for sure. Destiny 2 sucks ass! No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. The game started out right out of the chute amazing. The only reason it's not higher up on this list is because it kind of went downhill later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. True.
I agree that the only reason that I wouldn't put it higher on the list is because they sold there's going to be so much stuff to do in the end game. And while I did play it for a decent amount of time, you get to a point where you're like, now what? Okay. Yeah. You just do the things more, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And what was it?
It's just not meaningful, is what I'm trying to say.
The raid. The thing that really pissed me off about the raid wasn't the fact that it was too hard or whatever. I didn't care about that. Challenge is challenge. It's like we did the underbelly, right?
Yeah.
And we figured out how to get through the underbelly right to the final raid boss. You can't do that.
It's like, then what's the point?
The underbelly is literally only for the extra loot that you can find and to skip the capture the flag points. Which, who gives a flying fuck?
Those are the easiest part.
They're the easiest part of the raid.
I mean, for the most part, that's all it is. And it made me very angry. And then, when they first came out with the DLC for the next part of the game, it cordoned off so much shit for people who didn't want to buy the DLC.
They fixed it now, but the fact that it came out that way, it's like, are you serious?
Exactly. The fact that they came out with a gate on it just was like, dude, are you fucking serious? I don't know. Cool. That just made me really angry. Mm-hmm. And, like, I try not to curse a whole lot in the podcast. I try to make it a little bit more serious, but that just makes me so angry that they did that. I still like Destiny 2.
That being said, it was a lot of fun with friends. The whole first playthrough playing, I had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, we put a crap ton of hours into that.
Fun. It's probably one of the only games that came out this year that I had that much fun playing with friends, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sure. I agree.
The only other game that would really top that is Overwatch, but it didn't come out in 2017.
Year,
so you mean last year? It's 2018. Get your head in the right space, Bunkle.
Fuck.
Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and move right up on the list to the games that I have not played, which is number 7, Horizon Zero Dawn. Take it away, Jacques and Bunkle.
Have you played this one?
I haven't beaten it, but I've played it a fair amount.
It's just me then. Well, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I can still comment on some things.
I thought it was pretty... It's like, it's good, but it doesn't like do anything too like... Groundbreaking. It looks really good.
Yes.
The enemies are really interesting, and like, you know, they're giant robot dinosaurs and stuff, and they work really good. But then, like, other than that, it's basically just like another open world thing. You go around, you
take out outposts and such.
you do the towers and stuff.
Isn't this the game you guys were telling me that people were like pissed off about if you don't have it in a top 10 list or whatever like that?
People be very pissed because it was one of the better games to come out for the PS4, but a lot of people think it should be like Game of the Year #1. I don't see that.
Do you feel like it's a lot of hype, but it still has content to back it up? It's just not as high up as people think it is?
It's definitely a good game. It's just like a lot of hype, I guess.
For those people who don't understand why I don't know anything about these games, but I'm letting it be like number 7 on our collective top 10 list, is because 1, I didn't play a whole lot of games in 2017 that came out in 2017, and 2, I respect these two opinions, and they had really high opinions of the games.
Yeah, I mean, I came over here today and I already got Alex to buy a game.
Exactly. We'll talk about that later. Teaser! Listen to the rest of the podcast.
Yup.
Anyway, so we'll go ahead and go right on past that unless you guys have anything else to say about it.
It's definitely a good game. It deserves to be on the top 10 list. I don't think it doesn't deserve to be #1. In my opinion.
It wasn't revolutionary in any sense.
It just did things good.
Yeah, agreed.
Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and move on right up to number 6, which I have played this game, and it's on our YouTube channel. Go check it out, youtube.com/FunkleBunkle. Anyway, so number 6 on our top 10 list of games that we loved in 2017 is Cuphead.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you've heard of it.
Now, this game is I wouldn't say revolutionary. I'm sorry. I used the wrong word.
Yeah.
Insightful, original, something along those lines.
I would say original for sure.
Original. The art style.
The art style
number 1
for sure.
Hand drawn.
It's all that's crazy to me.
Which I think is amazing because the animation is so fluid and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, to me, you can play the same... It's basically a boss rush. I mean, there are levels where you do the run and gun, but it's mostly bosses. But, like, the fact that you can play a boss over and over again, but it doesn't, like, if you're watching someone play, it doesn't look that hard. But you just die over and over and over again. That's like it's a fine-tuned difficulty. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
There's, like, a line between it being fucking bullshit and, like, it being, like, too easy. And they're pretty much right in the middle.
Yeah.
Some things are fucking bullshit. It's a hard game, but it feels fair to me. I'm never like, it just came out of nowhere, you know?
And when you beat the boss finally, you're just like, yes!
Oh, yeah.
I feel so accomplished! I feel so validated, world! Do you hear me? And it's just a lot of like that.
Plus, it's not like the bosses are like these things with like huge health bars. It probably only takes like 5 or 10 minutes to beat it.
Oh, right? Yeah. No, it feels like hours when you're playing the game and you're dying so much, but you're like 15 minutes later, you're like, oh my God, finally. And you look at your watch and like no time has passed whatsoever.
For real, though.
I'm sorry. Look at your phone. Nobody looks at their watch.
Watch? What?
I don't even know if people know what a watch is unless it's an iWatch or a smartwatch, so.
They're outdated.
Anyway, we'll go ahead and move right up on the list, which is to number 5, Resident Evil 7. Another game that we played on the FunkleBunkle channel. Anyway.
I haven't beaten this one yet, but I've played a couple hours into it, but I can speak at least that it revitalized the series.
Agreed.
See, I feel like that's something to be said. If you haven't finished the game and you think so highly of it, it's
Exactly.
obviously a good game. Now, the reason that I like this game is because I played a few of the Resident Evil 7s with you and a few Resident Evils on my own in my own time, and I just didn't feel like I liked them that much.
Yeah.
And that's probably partially me, but I feel like they took the action-y part, kept it in the smallest degree, but then took the horror elements from the other games and was like, hey, let's do it this way.
Yeah, they actually like made it into a horror game again.
Mm-hmm.
And that just feels like what I feel like a zombie game should be.
Exactly.
And I know it's not like your traditional zombies, but I just feel like it's more like a psychological horror than it is like gore and stuff like that. And gore and stuff is all well and good and everything, but that can't just be your only element in a horror game.
And plus, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like most of the time I'm playing, it's not any necessarily like the jump scares or what I'm seeing that freaks me out, but it's myself freaking myself out because I'm like, what's around the next corner? I don't know. Do I have enough ammo?
Well, yeah,
Stuff like
that's how I feel about it too. That's how I felt about the first Dead Space, and that's why it was so good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
The fact that they can make the world feel like that for you, where you're not like just meh.
And that's how I feel about Resident Evil 7. It's like I feel like I'm scared in the game, and it's not just because it's like, oh my god, there's going to be jump scares. It's more like this is actually a scary environment that I'm in, and I need to be careful.
Right. Agreed.
So that's why it's number 5.
Exactly.
And I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Number 4, another game I know nothing about, and we'll just go ahead and jump into it. Persona 5.
Let me tell you about Persona 5.
Oh boy.
It's a Japanese RPG. It's half like dungeon...
Ironically, I just want to point this out. Ironically, Persona 5 is number 4, not number 5 on the list. Anyway.
Damn.
But
That's meta.
basically you play a high schooler, so it's like half high school life sim where you like, you study and you do stuff like that, and the other half is like dungeon crawling JRPG. You fight with like monsters, kind of Pokemon style. And that's just, it's really interesting that those two work together so well.
So in the game, is like the high school the real world and the dungeon part like a game or something they're playing, or is it both like the real world?
It's like, okay, the high school is the real world, but then like there's this like dark world that exists that's like formed from like the bad intentions in people's hearts, basically.
Yeah.
And you can go there and you whoop their ass and it makes them a good person again, basically.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. So you go in there and you fight them and stuff, and then they're like, I'm a shithead. I'm a piece of shit. I'm gonna turn myself in. You basically get people to turn themselves in.
Oh, well, that's good.
So I'm not gonna like talk about any story spoilers, but that's basically what happens, like generalized.
I feel like it's kind of like with the life sim and dungeon crawler thing. It's two things that shouldn't work as well together as they do.
And they complement each other. The things you do in the high school part of it affect how you do in like the dungeon part of it. Like basically you make friendships with people and you hang out with people, and that increases their persona.
The power of friendship.
The power of friendship, and that makes the monsters that are associated with that persona stronger.
The power of friendship.
So
My
basically-
friends are my power.
So basically, what the game has going for it is it's interesting, it has great soundtrack, it has a great art style, and the story's really good. And then, if you like JRPG gameplay, I would at least it's a must play
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Nice.
Faux show. I don't have as much experience in it yet as Ethan does, but
Let's play Persona 3.
yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, I can pretty much agree on all those points from what I have played.
if playing a little bit of Persona 5 made you want to play the past ones, it was probably doing something right.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I was like, I need to go back and experience more of this before I get into all the new quality of life changes and stuff.
Exactly.
All right, now let's go ahead and move on from this weeb shit, and we'll move right on into the nerd shit, which is
hell
the
yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons simulator, essentially.
Pretty much.
Divinity Original Sin 2.
That's pretty much the closest thing that you can get to Dungeons and Dragons like in a game.
Yeah, without it being completely just formulated and made up game of your own, which is what Dungeons and Dragons is. It's a completely evolving game
Exactly.
around which you can do basically whatever you want.
Basically, yeah, it's a top-down. It's really story-driven. It's kind of hard to explain it. It's got so much going on.
I know it's
basically like you're playing the game and you're like, I wonder if I can do this, and you're like, oh shit, I can, or like, I don't know.
basically you get dropped into the game and you're this sorcerer
Prisoner.
person.
Yeah,
You're like a prisoner. But there's this thing called Source, and it's this whole source of your powers, and you're a special person. Anyway, so you go into the game, you get out, and you're whatever class that you chose, or whatever race that you chose, which there's a whole bunch of different races, by the way. And there's also undead variations to those races that you can play, which is pretty cool. But essentially what the game is you go around, you've got missions that you need to do. There's a main storyline that you can go through, but there's so many side quests that you can do.
It's open world, basically.
And it's open world, and you run around, and it's top-down. It's kind of like Fallout 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like that. The combat is pretty much like that, too, actually. You have, like, action points that you can spend. Everyone has a turn in combat, and it's top-down. But a lot of the magic plays into it, too, because things like combine. Say, like, you make it rain, right? You have a rain spell. It rains. It forms, like, a little puddle, and then you electrocute the puddle, and then they're shocked. Various combinations on that.
And on top of that, for different stories and missions, or just doing whatever you want, you can literally break into someone's house, steal all their shit, rob them blind, and then leave. And then they'll come back and be like, "Where'd all my shit go?"
Yeah, they come back, they find the stuffing. They find the stuff missing, and then they start looking for who might have it. So they'll come up and talk to you if you're still around. They go, "Hey, do you have my shit?" And you're like,
and you can either lie to them, you can
stuff.
like try to run them off, you can threaten them, you can bribe them, or you can just straight up go, "Yeah, I got your stuff. What are you going to do about it?"
Yep. So and if you don't convince them, they'll like look through your stuff. And then if they have it, they'll try to kill you, or they'll tell the guards. It's pretty in depth. It's really good. Plus the characters.
Oh yeah, the characters are so well written.
That's what drives the thing is the different party members you can have because you make. It's interesting. You can make your own person where you play as them, or you can play as one of the party members that you might get in the game, and play like as them, like role play as. There's a person in the game called the Red Prince. Like you could role play the whole game as the Red Prince as your main party member.
And like the way that you build your character at the beginning also gives you different dialogue options. Like I was a barbarian, and at the beginning we're trapped in a ship, and I was like, "What strange wooden cave is this?"
It's pretty good.
And we're talking about the ship. But
the writing is excellent.
Basically, that's why that made it to number 3.
All the shit we just said.
And it is a great, well-rounded game. If you like Dungeons & Dragons, you're going to like Divinity Original Sin 2 because it's basically the video game for Dungeons & Dragons.
Basically.
This is another game that I have not played, but I'm definitely interested.
You should
look
into
definitely
it.
want
Especially since you like games like story-driven, like...
And you can play with us in our 3-person, or 4, it would be 4-person if you joined.
We still got room in our party.
But we've got room in a party for you, and you could totally join us and go watch our YouTube channel at youtube.com/FunkleBunkle. We're doing a Divinity Original Sin 2 playthrough. Anyway, moving on. Number 2 on our top 10 games of 2017 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of Wild. Breath of the Wild, not Breath of Wild, or either one. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, from what I know of the game, it's a beautiful game, it's open world, and it's something that a Zelda game has never been, and there's voice acting. Go.
You want to take it from here? Yeah.
Sure. I can start off. I really enjoy the world in the game because it feels like it doesn't... One of the things I was worried about when the game was announced is that the world would be kind of empty, just like nothing between the dungeons. But there's actually a lot. Like, it feels like everywhere you go, you find something to do. You find something that has some kind of puzzle or some kind of story or quest to go along with it. It never feels like you're just wandering through a field doing nothing.
Exactly.
It's very dynamic.
There's always like something, basically you'll be like, all right, I need to go here. And you'll be like, ooh, what's that? And you go over there and there's like this thing and it leads into another thing. And
yeah,
it's just fun. It's interesting. It's good. Yeah, I like that.
I like how we talked about like 10 minutes for Divinity Original Sin 2, and you're like, Breath of the Wild. Yeah, it's good. I mean, you can do stuff in the game.
I mean, what can you say about Breath of the Wild that hasn't already been said by everybody?
It basically it has like a Skyrim feel to it. Basically, you explore and then
it feels like the natural progression of what Zelda was going to become eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like.
I think we all know what needs to be said here. The game is a breath of fresh air. Oh, please don't unsubscribe.
Kill me.
Anyway, that brings us to number 1, which I've only played probably a couple hours of this game. And I agree it needs to be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even the main character in this game. I was becoming a supporting role, and I liked the game. And I feel like every point to... Oh, I keep hitting the microphone. Like every podcast, I hit the microphone at least once. Anyway, number 1 on the FunkleBunker's top 10 games of 2017 is Super Mario Odyssey.
You couldn't see that coming after we already said Zelda.
Yeah, nobody could have saw that coming. It's not like we're Nintendo fanboys. We're not. We're really not. At least I'm not. These two weebs might be, but I'm not.
I am now. All these fucking good games coming out. I wasn't before, honestly. I didn't own a Wii U.
I did.
I owned a Wii. I owned a Wii U.
Damn it. But
wow.
Basically, Super Mario Odyssey. It's a Mario game. It plays a lot like Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, I think. It's in the vein of those games. And it gives you there's many levels, but they're like kind of mini open worlds, and you go around and you collect moons, and there's just basically it's kind of like what you said about Zelda. There's like something fun to do no matter where you go. Like obviously there's like the main moons. There's moons instead of stars in this one. There's the main moons you get to go to the next world, you know.
Yeah.
But like if you just like walk any direction, you'll find something to do for a moon, whether it tells you to do it or whether you're just like, I wonder what this is, and you do it, and you're like, oh shit, you know, It's just interesting.
It's the game works in a way where it encourages experimenting with the gameplay, where for any puzzle you find or platforming conundrum you run into, there are multiple ways you can go about it. There's not just one way. You can see crazy jumps that people do to bypass like entire levels.
I've watched some on YouTube where, you know, I do it like the kind of normal way, I guess, but then you see someone do like some crazy jump move to get up there, and I'm like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like they're not like breaking the game. They're just like using the mechanics in the game to get up there. They'll like wall jump and throw their hat and then jump off the hat and then like do a dive jump and then like spin and they get up there and you're like, well, goddamn.
Wow. I wish I thought of that.
I think the coolest thing about Super Mario Odyssey, from my standpoint, is the fact that it's actually a co-op Mario game.
Yeah, kind of. You can have someone play as the hat, and they fly around, and they can fuck you up. They can mess up your jumps, and it's fun.
But you can also do a whole bunch of crazy stuff with it. I know that there's other Mario games where you can play with people. Don't fucking shit on me. I know. But that's not the kind of Mario games I'm talking about. There's Mario games where you can play with other people. You can play this, what are they, the Super Mario Worlds or whatever like that, and you can play with Toad and Princess Peach and all that. And you can play with up to like 4 people. That's not the kind of co-op I'm talking about. The kind of co-op I'm talking about is you have a mission that you need to do in a Mario story where it's a Mario game and you're playing with another person in a Mario game like Super Mario Sunshine and Mario 64.
Basically, it feels like teamwork, like in the Super Mario games we were talking about earlier, that basically you're just playing a level together and you complete the level, right? You know, you go through the jumps and stuff. This one's like teamwork. You're like, all right, move the hat a little bit farther, and then I'm going to run and jump, and then you need to move the hat again, you know? Or, get the enemy before I, you know, stuff like that.
Exactly.
I just think this game is pretty much the definition of fun. Like, I have 25 hours played in it according to my Switch, and I can't really think of any part in the game where I didn't feel like I was having fun. I never felt frustrated or bored. I was always like, this is fun. I'm always finding something new to do or something cool to interact with or take
And it
over
doesn't
with
feel
that.
limiting.
No,
Yeah. It's very free.
Like, Super Mario 64 is probably one of my favorite Mario games. But there's a certain point where you're just like, there's not a whole lot more I can do. And then eventually you're just playing through the same levels over and over, just taking a slightly different path to get the star.
Yeah.
Right.
It's still a good game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's basically just playing the same things over and over again to get different stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Where you can get all the stars. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Like, who cares? Getting all the stars doesn't give you a super secret ending or anything like that. You throw Bowser in the lava pit. End of game.
Bada bing,
See,
bada
now
boom.
in Super Mario Odyssey, you should collect at least most of those moons. I ain't gonna spoil nothing, but
I feel like the moons feel like they have more purpose even after you've beaten the game.
yeah,
They always
unlock
unlock-
more stuff.
Yeah, they unlock like new levels in some cases.
I'll get right on that as soon as I get a Switch.
You should.
But I won't.
I
Because, I'm sorry, who owns a house?
guess that's right. You own a house and I own a Switch. Who made the right choice?
Who made the right choice here? You decide in the comments.
Anyway,
But that's the FunkleBunker 2017 list of top 10 games that we loved in 2017. It's 2018. I meant 2018 list of 2017 games that we enjoyed, top 10 list of games that 2017 gave us. That is the list title right there.
That whole
Damn.
thing.
That whole thing.
I have
Now
some
we're gonna
honorable
give some
mentions. Yeah.
honorable mentions. You didn't let me.
I'm
You know
sorry.
what? You gotta let me
Are you running
segue.
the show?
Yes, I'm running the show. FunkleBunker. Anyway, so go ahead and give us your honorable mentions from 2017, boyos.
I have Nier Automata.
Never heard of it.
Basically, if you like the booty, you should play it. That's what I'm gonna say. That's all that needs to be said.
What kind of
Oh,
booty?
yeah.
Girl booty? Dude booty? Cat booty? Dog
Robot
booty?
Rope Android booty.
But is it a girl booty or guy booty?
Well,
Is it an android girl booty?
The
Or is it an
android is
android guy booby?
Well, I'm not gonna assign them a sex. They never say.
Does it look like a woman?
Well,
It's very feminine in appearance.
There you go.
Did you just assume their gender?
No.
I knew it. I knew it was a trap.
Oh no. I got baited.
Tumblr's gonna kill us.
All right, you got one.
Let's see. I do have one on here. This one, I'm gonna put in as an honorable mention for how much it disappointed me.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Mass Effect Andromeda, the only game that I've ever anxiously looked forward to, only to receive and be incredibly disappointed. I usually don't get too hyped up for video games, but Mass Effect Andromeda, you really dropped the ball and you broke my heart, and that's all I can say.
You want a dishonorable mention from me?
Yeah.
Ukulele. We don't
there
need
you
to talk about it.
We're
That's
going
it.
to talk about it.
Just know.
An honorable mention from me is Neo. Basically, it's like Samurai Dark Souls.
Are we talking about the Matrix? Neo?
Yeah, Neo from
The one.
the one.
The one. The only one.
Yeah, it's Samurai Dark Souls basically.
I'm on team Neo isn't the one. Just want to say that.
Wow.
Damn.
There's a whole bunch of fan theories about how Neo's not the one. I'm on their side.
Well,
Fair
All right,
enough.
then.
That's your opinion.
that's your opinion,
You're
man.
entitled to that.
Whole different podcast. Anyway, move on.
You.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with Metroid: Samus Returns on the 3DS.
I have no idea what that game is.
I know what it is. I just never played it.
I enjoy it a lot. I didn't play the original. I think it's a remake of Metroid 3.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I think, which I haven't played, so I can't really compare it to that. But I've enjoyed the time I had with it. It's a, if you know how a Metroid game is, it's very platforming with like combat and puzzles, and you need certain weapons to go through certain doors.
So Zelda.
No, I mean, well, maybe like the older Zeldas.
If you played anything like Castlevania or I think a more recent one is Guacamelee, it's pretty similar to those. I know it's a really funny name, but
Guacamelee.
Let's see. I wanna just honorably throw out Kingdom Hearts 2.8. Basically, it's
Never heard of it.
It's like the prequel to what Kingdom Hearts 3. It like leads up right to it. So if you're excited about Kingdom Hearts 3, definitely pick up 2.8.
you gotta.
You got it. You got it. You'll get lost.
I would give more honorable mentions, but like games I played in 2017, I'm not sure if they came out in 2017. So I don't want to like say a game and it not have come out in 2017.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5. That's a game.
That's
I mean-
pretty much all I want to talk about that I feel like mentioning for 2017. I mean, I'm sure there's other games that we missed, but those are the ones that I think are important.
Jacques.
I'll throw in one more. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus for the Nintendo Switch. If you've never played The Binding of Isaac, it's a really good place to come in because it's got a ton of content added from the original. And The Binding of Isaac itself is a game I really enjoy because it's got pretty much infinite content. It's randomly generated dungeons. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Plays similar to Zelda.
Like the old Zeldas.
Yes, the old Zeldas.
The top-down ones.
Yes, but very fun.
And with that, we go to our paper calendar on the wall and flip the page to the new year. So we say goodbye to 2017. A good farewell. I'm holding up both my middle fingers for those of you who can't see because no, it's a podcast. Anyway, so we say goodbye to 2017 and we come to usher in the new Weebab that is 2018.
Oh, yes.
That means we're going to talk about the games we're excited for.
Yes, I was going to put it more eloquently than that, but yes.
I know, I
Now we're
wanted
going
to
to talk
ruin it.
about 2018 games we're excited for. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Games that look cool.
Well, it looks so good. You see a trailer for that? I think we should just start off with the one we've been talking about for a couple hours since we started the podcast.
That's true.
Basically, I showed up for this podcast at Alex's house, and I said, "Hey, you heard about Sea of Thieves?" And he went, "No, what is that?" And then now he's bought it. So
Yeah,
apparently-
basically. So, a lot of people don't know this about me. I love pirate games. Love them if they do them right. You can't just slap a pirate face on something and be like, it's a pirate game.
It's got a pirate hat DLC.
So when it comes to Assassin's Creed, I hate all of them.
Oh my.
Except for Black Flag.
Fair point. Okay, continue.
And the reason I liked Black Flag was not because of Assassin's Creed gameplay. It was because of the pirate ships. And it's just the fact that you're out on the open seas, you're plundering, you're killing other people on their ships, and you've got your own ship and you're just fucking shit up, and that's awesome. And that's what I love about the game. And from what I've understood, what I've read, what I've watched trailers about, that just today, actually, and why I just straight up bought the game 2 months before it's going to come out, is because Sea of Thieves is this amazing game where you're basically a pirate, you get your own ship, and you get to go out on adventures on the sea by yourself or with a whole bunch of friends.
Yeah, see, I'm excited about the co-op action of
Yes.
it. So basically, it seemed from the trailers, it looks like there's maybe like a 4 or 5 person ship. And so you have one person steering the ship, but they can't like see because you're on a big ship. So you have one man up in the crow's nest who can see, who's kind of telling them what direction to go, make sure they don't run into anything. And then you have someone downstairs below the deck looking at the map, telling them, where they need to go and stuff like that. Maybe you have a person that works the sails. They can furl and unfurl the sails. You can tilt them to catch the wind. There's just a lot going on. And that's just the boat part of it. That's just going to the place where you got to go.
And that's just a whole bunch of teamwork right there, which I feel like is a lot of fun if you have friends.
Yes.
If you have friends.
If you have
But,
friends. There are one-person boats. So.
And then on top of that, it's a whole open world online experience where you're sharing a world with a whole bunch of other people, a whole bunch of other pirates, and the combat system's going to be insane.
Just from the trailer, it looked so cool. There was like a storm happening and the waves were going up and down and they were shooting cannons at each other.
And the cannons don't have that stupid aiming arc where it tells you where the cannonball is going to go.
Exactly.
You literally have to free ball the free ball. I'm sorry. Free aim the cannonballs and just shoot them and hope they hit, which is more realistic to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's like a little trail of smoke that like goes behind the cannonball, so you can like kind of tell if you overshot it or undershot it. But that's basically all you got.
And on top of that, you can load yourself into the cannon and shoot yourself to the other ship or onto the island, which I think is pretty fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
the first thing Alex asked me is like, well, can you board other people's pirate ships and like kill them? And I was like, I don't know, let me find out. And I saw a dude get in a cannon and shoot himself onto the enemy pirate ship and started slaying them over there. And I was like, well, yes, you can.
And that right there is what made me buy the game. That and the free access to the closed beta that's going to be here in a couple weeks, but that's neither here nor there. I just want to play the game.
So basically, you're a pirate and you... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I feel like this is worth mentioning. There's random Kraken attacks. So, I'm going to find that thing and try to kill it.
Exactly.
Another thing that's pretty exciting, which I think is a pretty revolutionary thing that's coming with the game, is it's an Xbox game. It's a Windows 10 game.
Yep.
Which I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
On top of that, it sounds like, from what we read, there's going to be cross-platform play.
Yep.
That is awesome. That means if my friend's got an Xbox, but he doesn't have a nice computer, he can get it on his Xbox and play with me on my badass computer.
Kendrick. If he wants to get the achievements.
And you basically just get to play all you want together, cross-platform, which I think is amazing.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot of games out like that. I think the only other game I can think of off the top of my head is Rocket League.
Yeah.
Which you play with a controller no matter what. I don't care what you say. People that can play Rocket League with a mouse and keyboard do not exist.
They're wrong. Yep.
They're bad.
But that's definitely the number one thing I'm looking forward to in 2018.
Let's see. You got one, Jake?
Do you want to go ahead? You got something on your mind?
I'm excited about Monster Hunter
Monster Butter Pie!
Monster Hunter World. Okay, so here's the thing. Pretty much everyone here in this podcast plays our games on PC. I have a PS4. Jake has a PS4.
I have no console.
There you go.
I am not tethered by the limitations of man.
But anyway, Monster Hunter World comes out the end of January for consoles, but it doesn't come out until fall for PC. So I'm excited about it, but I am disappointed that I'm not going to be playing it this month.
Thanks, Capcom.
Yeah, thanks, Capcom. But
To be fair, making it for a whole bunch of different PC setups is pretty hard.
is it 9 months hard? I honestly don't know.
I don't think
Is
it's 9 months hard, but I don't think they want to put all their resources
'Cause,
into
like,
that basket.
when Destiny 2 came out, they took like a month and a half, I think, to finalize the PC version. I'm like, oh, okay. Exactly the same point you were making. They just wanted it to be good.
That's true.
Like, at
But
the end of the year? Like, damn.
But like, is Capcom really as big as
No.
Bungie?
No.
I think they have more resources. I think that's the difference.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends.
It just depends. They might not want to put all the resources. They might be working on something bigger that we don't know about.
That's true.
Good point.
I mean, it's not enough for me to not buy the game.
Oh, of course not.
I'm just sad.
I'm also sad.
So I am excited about Monster Hunter World. It seems like a lot of fun with friends.
Yeah.
So basically, instead of sitting around on a pirate ship, you just go around and kill big monsters. That's the game.
And that sounds like a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Basically, a lot of the games we're excited for is games that we can play with each other.
Because we have friends.
We have friends.
Man, if you guys listen to this and you don't have friends, I'm sorry. At least, some of this might not apply to you.
We're your friends. We're your friends. Just let us know. We'll be your friends. I'm serious. We'll be your friends every day of the month.
I got some single player games on here. We'll be okay.
Yeah. We'll be all right.
All right, wave your paper and let's get the games going.
All right, I got a little number to mention. I was going to go with something bigger, but I decided I'll keep it low for now. We'll get to the bigger ones later on. Travis Strikes Back, No More Heroes. I believe that's the name of it. It's an indie game for the Nintendo Switch coming out sometime this year. It's a sequel.
I'm sorry.
You're
I'm sorry to
good.
interrupt
Go
you. I
ahead.
just wanted to point out something that you said right there that completely throws us back to our other podcast. Most of the games we've been talking about that are AAA developers, multiplayer. You just said indie game. It's a single player, isn't it?
Yep. It
Indie
is.
developers are taking over the single player scene. Sorry, continue.
All right. You're good. It's a sequel to the... I believe they were both on the Nintendo Wii.
They were.
No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2. And honestly, we have no idea what the gameplay looks like. They haven't shown any gameplay. It's just a trailer, but if it's anything similar to the first two, I definitely want to play it. And something that interests me about it is the story apparently ties in with other indie games that have come out recently. The main one that caught my attention is there's apparently a level that involves Hotline Miami that takes place in the world of Hotline Miami, which I love Hotline Miami, so I'm super interested to see what they do with that.
I'm sorry, what game was it?
I know, I said Hotline Miami a lot right there. But, it's Suda51 making it. He's a really weird guy. He's very quirky. All his games are super quirky and interesting, so I'm looking forward to that. Very curious to see what becomes of it.
Yeah. I haven't played 1 or 2, but I saw the trailer for it. It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it until you just mentioned it. So
Hey, you want to buy it?
yeah, let's go right now. All right.
Do you have any you want to say?
Honestly, off the top of my head, the only one that you've even brought me on to is the Sea of Thieves.
And I
so-
mentioned that specifically knowing that you would like it.
Yeah, I haven't looked into any games coming out in 2018 that I'm excited for. So, oh wait, no, that's not true. There is one game that I'm actually kind of excited for, but I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. But I've always wanted a Pokemon game that's kind of open world kind of thing, which
Yeah.
is kind of why I liked Pokemon XD Heart of Darkness. I thought that game was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
kind of open world, and you
Yeah.
got to play and everything like that. There's supposed to be a Pokemon RPG coming out this year. And I know that Pokemon is an RPG anyway. But no, different type of RPG, more akin to something like Elder Scrolls, but not as violent as Elder Scrolls.
Yes.
If you catch my
You don't
drift.
get to go around and kill Pokemon?
Yeah, no.
That's not fun. It's a role-playing game.
But you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
something I'm kind of excited for. I don't know a whole lot of details about it, but that's just something that I thought I'd throw out there.
Fair enough.
I don't want to get into the one that me and Jake are super excited yet. We'll leave that one for the end. Otherwise,
yeah.
we'll just talk about it.
For the rest of the podcast.
Yeah. I'm excited for... it's a remaster. Is it a remake? I don't know the term. Shadow of Colossus is getting remade.
yeah.
And they're not just like... Okay, so Shadow of the Colossus came out on the PS2 and it was a great game. If you look up any top list, it's always in like the top 10 at least. They redid it for the PS3 just with like better frame rate and better textures and
yeah.
stuff. This new one that's coming out on the PS4 is completely redone from scratch using new like current gen like graphics, and it just looks amazing.
So
If you-
Skyrim.
It looks beautiful. It's orgasmic, I would even go
This
as far
this
as
is
say.
like if they like took Morrowind and like completely started from scratch and made it look like Skyrim. That's basically what they're doing.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So it's not just like new textures.
Are they adding anything to it?
Maybe some like
collectibles.
maybe like some like changes like
Unlockings.
Well, I was just wondering because when they redid the Crash Bandicoot stuff in the Insane Trilogy, they added stuff to it. So I didn't know if they were adding anything.
I'm not sure. I think it's just the same stuff. Maybe some just like normal gameplay stuff to like kind of smooth it out. It's from the PS2 era, so
I'm assuming they're
maybe
probably
just, like,
going to add
controls.
achievements to it. So
well,
there
it's
might be some extra
achievements.
stuff like that. But
so yeah, that one for sure.
Oh yeah. All right, I'll go with another one. Again, this is one that, as far as gameplay goes, I know nothing about. I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm excited nonetheless. It's called, I might butcher the pronunciation here because I don't speak Japanese, but Ghost of Tsushima, I want to say.
What's it look like?
Coming from...
Yeah, it looks like that.
Tsushima? It's coming from Sucker Punch, who I'm a big fan of. They made Infamous and Sly Cooper. Both awesome games. Awesome
I
series.
agree. I love those games.
But I believe it's set during the
Feudal
Japan, right, with samurai and ninjas and stuff. And it's, from what I understand, the gameplay is similar to Assassin's Creed, but it's something that I think I'm definitely going to keep an eye on in 2018 because Sucker Punch is an awesome studio. I think I'm really curious to see what they do with this title and the gameplay style it seems that they're going for.
It looks like they have a strong focus on story. Like
Yes.
they haven't shown any gameplay yet. They've just shown the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it has a strong story element, and it's really dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I was interested. I just watched the trailer, and I was like, I want to know what happens. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't say that about every game. I'm like, who fucking cares? I don't know.
now
Right,
you want me to tell you the last good game that came out from Rockstar was?
GTA 5?
GTA 5?
Besides GTA 5.
LA
GTA
Noire.
5
Bully?
itself... Okay, GTA... I just want to clarify. GTA 5, the game sucked balls. The online is good.
I don't know. I like GTA 5, the story mode.
I thought
I'm
it
the
was,
complete opposite.
Shut your face.
I thought it was okay until you
Your opinion's wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
it gets to a point with the story mode where it starts to feel kind of empty. Like there's nothing to do really.
Anyway, we're getting off track. The
Yeah,
last
yeah.
good game that Rockstar made for me was Red Dead Redemption.
Oh yes.
I like that game. That was
And
good.
you want to know what's coming out in 2018? Red
Bully
Dead
2.
Redemption 2.
Bully 2. No, I'm just kidding.
Nobody cares about Bully.
I care about Bully.
I care.
But
We'll talk about that later.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out in 2018, and I am so excited for that because the Red Dead Redemption game was probably one of my favorite games that Rockstar has ever made in the single-player variety.
Agreed.
I agree. So, looking at the time, I think we have time for one more game. I'm excited for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Me too.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm so excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. It's going to be so good.
I'm not excited at all.
I don't care what you think. This isn't about you. This is about me. And Jake.
It's our time to shine.
So basically, if you're not a Kingdom Hearts fan,
You're not going to like this game.
I mean,
that's not where I was going with this, but probably.
That's where I was going.
if you're not a Kingdom Hearts fan and you start with 3, you'll have absolutely no idea what's going on. You won't know any of the characters. You won't know the plot. You'll just be completely lost.
The good news is.
In other words, don't play the game.
The good news is it's never been easier to play the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise.
Correct.
Because the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise is on like fucking 5 different systems. It's like, you gotta have a PS2, and you gotta have a PS Vita, and you gotta have a 3DS, and you gotta have a phone, and you got... Am I missing one?
I think
A
you pretty much
3DS,
nailed it.
Yeah, a DS.
I think they have a browser game now.
Yeah, you gotta play it on your phone, on like the browser. Basically, all of that is now on the 1.5 and 2.5 collection, and then you buy 2.8. So you buy 2 games, and you get the like 9 games, the 9 Kingdom Hearts games, on your PS4.
Yes.
So it's never been easier to be a Kingdom Hearts fan. I wish they did that from the start.
Agreed. And I'm going to be honest, not every Kingdom Hearts game is a winner. Some of them are kind of stinky. But if you pick up the 1.5, 2.5 remix, don't worry, because the poopy ones, they pretty much just turn into a movie where you just
Exactly.
watch the cutscenes. You don't have to play the game.
Basically, if you name the 2 shittiest games, they didn't even port those games over. They just made them cutscene movies. So there you go. You don't even have to play them. The work's been done for you.
Exactly. But I feel like, based on the gameplay I've seen for Kingdom Hearts 3, I think it looks awesome. I feel like they took all the best combat aspects from the other Kingdom Hearts games and put them into one. And I feel like just based off what I've seen, it looks like the logical progression of Kingdom Hearts gameplay, and it looks so fluid and so fun.
Before they showed like actual gameplay footage, I was worried it was going to be like, because Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 came out on the PlayStation 2.
Right.
So I was worried that they might kind of be like stuck in the past, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe kind of like dated gameplay, and then, I don't know, series kind of need to progress to a certain extent,
right?
You know, but from what I've seen from Kingdom Hearts 3, it looks like this is not the case. It looks so good. It looks exactly what I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
The worlds seem more open and colorful and lively of the worlds that they've shown. You can now have both Donald and Goofy and the world party member at the same time. You don't have to leave Donald behind again. I always left Donald behind.
Same.
I was like, you can either pick Donald or Goofy and Mulan. And I'm like, okay, Donald and Mulan.
Yeah.
I mean, goddamn. You know what I meant.
You're contradicting yourself.
But, let's see. Just the combat looks fun. The world. Mm-hmm. I'm invested in the story. The Kingdom Hearts games have a funky story. It's hard to follow. Basically, I don't know.
Don't explain
else to say
it. We don't have.
No, I'm not going to explain.
We don't have that much time.
You would need all kinds of charts and graphs and all that to explain the story properly.
And there's characters that are basically the same character, but like 3 times.
Yeah.
This character is actually this character, but
I just have one question.
Character. Yeah.
Do they got the gummy ships though?
I haven't seen anything about it, but
I'm never going to play that game.
I haven't seen. That doesn't mean that they're not in it. They just haven't talked about it.
Listen to me. If they don't have gummy ships in the game, I don't want it.
See, that's okay because the gummy ships are the least favorite part of the games.
They are the favorite part of the games for me.
You're playing all these games for the wrong reasons. You're wrong.
I love the gummy ships.
Basically, I'm really excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. I've been waiting for this game for so long. People are like,
it's like 10, 11 years.
See, like whenever you say that, people are like, well, look, all those other handheld games came out. I'm like, nah. I wasn't waiting for those. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Like, countries have probably rised and fallen in that time period. Children have been born. You know, all this shit, and I just want Kingdom Hearts 3.
I remember being in the 8th grade, and there were trailers for the next Kingdom Hearts game. Turned out to be Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
But they were like, this could be Kingdom Hearts 3, and I was like, oh, I can't wait. And now I'm a fucking adult with a life and a car, and I'm like, oh my god, Kingdom Hearts 3!
I need it.
I need it.
I don't want to stomp all over your Kingdom Hearts 3 orgy over there.
You can't.
But there's one game that I feel like is going to be the most interesting game that comes out this next year, and it's because it takes a whole new dynamic in the co-op scene. And that is A Way Out.
Yeah, we were looking at that earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason that game sounds so interesting to me is because you were telling me...
I'm like pretty sure you have to have 2 people to play it.
That essentially you have to work together with another person that you essentially don't know to get through the story and work together the entire way. There's no way to do it by yourself.
Yep, unless you have like 2 controllers and you're a badass.
And you're just playing with your feet and hands at the same time.
But like, and it's like narrative driven. It hasn't come out yet, so I don't know. But it's ballsy. It looks interesting.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Is I think it's one of the more interesting games that are coming out in 2018. It's not necessarily one of the games I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
But it's one of the ones that I go, that seems like it's something that's going to be new. Not necessarily sure if it's going to be good or bad, but it's something new that I feel like is going to be like a pow in the gaming industry that's not happened before. Because as far as I can tell, off the top of my head, I cannot think of any single game in the past that has come up with that kind of dynamic.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which is something that I'm really excited to try out.
Right.
Well, that's all the games that I got off the top of my head that I can think about. I'm sure there's some I've missed, but those ones I care about.
I'll mention a couple quick ones real quick.
Do it.
All right, Spider-Man on the PS4.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that. I'm pretty excited for that too.
Same. There hasn't really been a whole lot of gameplay shown for it, but from what I have seen, it looks very interesting. And I'm hoping it's open world. I assume it would be since most of them are, but if it's anything like...
Except for Spider-Man 2 on the PS1, or was it PS2? I can't remember. Anyway, you know how the poison clouds were down below and you couldn't go down because you die in the poison clouds?
Yeah, I remember that. But as long as it's a good, fun Spider-Man game, I'm interested. I will play. I like Spider-Man. Very interested in that. Days Gone coming out for the PS4 again. Something they haven't shown a whole lot of gameplay for. I'm honestly kind of conflicted on it. It could be just a standard zombie, uninteresting action game, but then again,
it could be good.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough
know.
of it to make a good decision yet. You know, So honestly, Sony exclusives usually wow me in some aspects, so
I agree.
we'll see. And then the last one, which is again another one that we know nothing about, Death Stranding from Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, it has my interest. I just don't know like what it's about. Not that that's a bad thing.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know where we go from here.
Yeah. Where do we go?
Now we're coming up on the end of the podcast here, so I want to do two quick ones really fast that I'm excited for. And that's one, Get the Fuck Out, or GTFO, sorry.
It seems interesting. I hope it's good.
I'm pretty excited for it because it basically, I can't remember exactly what it was comparing it to.
Left 4 Dead and Payday 2.
It's basically you got to strategize your way to get past all these monsters and everything and survive, which I think is pretty exciting. And I feel like that'd be a fun game to play with friends.
More games with friends, huh?
More games with friends. And there's another one, and this is kind of the same line of more games with friends, is State of Decay.
What was it?
State of Decay 2. That's coming out. State of Decay was a good game, and it's a zombie game. I'm a fan of zombie games. We all know this.
Pirate games and zombie games.
But the first one, it's like a zombie survival game where you get together, you get these little compounds, you get a whole bunch of people together, and you survive. State of Decay 2 is that, but you also get to play with friends because it's co-op.
Yeah,
which I feel like is going
power.
to be extremely exciting because playing with friends in that game is what I felt like it was missing in the first one.
Exactly.
So I feel like it's going to round itself out in that regard.
I can see that.
I agree.
All right, so that was a really exciting podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was 2017 games and then the 2018 games.
We looked at the past, and now we look to the future.
Exactly.
With
2017
bright
was a
eyes.
pretty good year, I think, for games. It had its shitty ones. We didn't talk about that, but that's okay.
That's all right. And then 2018, I'm hoping comes out with a whole bunch of good stuff. There's a game out there about some android cop that I'm actually kind of excited for. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now. Anyway, so definitely let us know in the comments below what you thought of our list. If you have any quandaries or questions about it, let us know in the comments as well. If you have any disputes about it, let us know too, because we will totally rip into you. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's fucking go. You gonna talk shit about Kingdom Hearts 3?
But if you also have any games that you're excited for in 2018, let us know about those too, because we are always looking for new games to look into because we love video games.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
like
basically
that.
what our whole podcast is centered about.
I like games.
Yeah, I like games.
If there's a topic you wanted to talk about in the podcast, just let us know about that too, because that'd be really exciting as well. And everything else on top of that. Anyway, definitely comment along with us on SoundCloud, like the podcast, it really helps out. And if you're watching us on YouTube, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and love us, because we need as much love as we can possibly get.
Love me.
And then eventually, if I ever figure out the iTunes thing, do all the things on there that I don't know about.
Yeah, iTunes stuff.
Because iTunes is something way outside of my realm of expertise and stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
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 But with that, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up this podcast. So, I've been Funkle, and it's been nice to know you.
I've been Bunkle, and I feel safe with you.
I've been Jacques, and I need Kingdom Hearts 3 in my life.
Yeah, buddy.
And join us next week and bunker down with us.